Hi everyone, this is Andra Annette and CJC Boy with the life of an entrepreneur. So today we want to talk about people and just really being heart-centered in your business. We don't like pre-record this or have any scripts or anything like that. So I said, CJ, what do you want to talk about? So CJ wants to talk about some of the people that she's encountering, and I know that I encounter people like this myself all the time. So we're just gonna get into it, and here we go. So you were saying before I said, well, what do you want to talk to? You were talking about you're meeting a lot of women that are
Um,
just not aligned with what they're getting into.
yeah, I'm coming across a lot of women who are, they're in desperation mode. They are just jumping into the thing that is showing them like they're dangling this carrot of like, here's how much money you can make. And it's really not something that's aligned with them, what they really, are genuinely excited about. And I'm in a couple different groups where people post in there and they're like, hey, I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids. I'm looking for something to do from home. And you have all this barrage of people just spitting their stuff at them and going, here's what you need to do, let's talk, let's join me for $5 or whatever it is. And it's really disheartening for me to watch all that happen when in reality, how are all those people spamming people and saying I have what you need without ever having a conversation? And so I had a conversation with a lady in one of those groups, and I sent her a message and I said, I understand that there is a plethora of things out there to choose from, but I would love to just have 5 minutes of your time for you to tell me what it is that you are looking for, what really lights you up, what excites you, what are you passionate about, what would really make a difference in your life aside from the money. Because a lot of people can tell you there's going to be money in there, but in reality, if you're getting into something that you don't absolutely love, you're not going to make the money. The money is not going to matter. Even if you do by chance get a couple sales here and there, that's great, but the money's not going to matter. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be long term because you are not really in love with what you're doing. It's not something that you're passionate about or that your heart is really in. And I've been there and I've done that. And I've taken jobs in the past where it's like, oh, yes, you're going to make, back in the day, and this is not a lot of money, but you're going to make $9.57 an hour. And it's like, oh my God, that's great. That's awesome. But when you go to work every day and you're like, I hate what I do, I dislike the people I come into contact with, the money doesn't matter when you're really disheartened about what it is that you're doing. And so I think that's the one thing that's really landing for me is there's so many, because of the plethora of opportunities out there, there's so many people who don't take the time to stop and really figure out what is it that your heart really wants, what feels good in your soul, what do you want to align yourself with that's going to be sustainable and long term, instead of something that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to dip my toes in the water and try it, and if it doesn't work next, I'll just move on to the next thing. Because there's enough of those people out there. We need to be the pioneers in the things that are like really something that you know we're really passionate about. Like you, for instance, your gut health, your health, that's it. You want women to be healthy and understand the power of that. You've never swayed from that in the whole entire time that I've known you. And that's what sets you apart from everybody else, is that you are heart centered in that goal. That's your mission, that's your vision, that's your goal for life.
It's because it's easy. It's who I am. So I see that you are a lot more present on Facebook and everywhere you are because I
Oh,
follow you, my girl. So I'm always supporting people that I love. So I see that you're more present and you are so much more aligned with who you are as a person, which makes it so much easier to really walk this journey. So I guess that's where I am about health. Everybody wanted me to do this or wanted me to do that. And I said, but that's not who I am. I'm all health. Don't tell me how to show up as me. And when I got to that point, I was like, hey, that's right. This is me. This is my life. You can't tell me how to be me. And so now I kind of show up as this cocky, arrogant person, which is more aligned with who I really, really am because I know I'm really good at what I do. But I feel so much better when I share about it. So I see that, your posts are always different. They're always original, and they're innovative, and you're really talking to that person, you know? And I think that's what sets being in alignment apart from just doing something to be doing it, because there is so much more. I hear people, I know you hear people saying that they have trouble with content and putting things out there. If it's something that you love doing, you shouldn't run out of information. There's always going to be
Exactly.
something to talk about because it's who you are at your core. So I get that they're having trouble talking about it because they're trying to fit into those molds that you and I have worked so hard to get out of. So I do feel with them, but I think that there's a lot to what you said. There is a plethora of people out there, and I think that it's so invasive being online right now that the amount of people in my inbox is overwhelming. To try to talk to my clients in there is ridiculous because I have 150 messages easy every day, and that's by about 12 o'clock.
Right.
So I just start like deleting them, telling me that, hey, great post, I don't know if you're interested. It's always something very small, like hello, and then right into what they're selling. They're not trying to offer me any value. They have no concern for who I am or what I actually do. So I feel bad for the people that are trying to really find something to better their family and their lives because it's difficult today.
Yeah, and I think, everybody looks at, oh, the online space is so easy. You can be whoever you want on there. You can do whatever you want. And, there's so many people out there saying, I'm living this life and I'm making this kind of money. And it's like in reality, if I met probably 99% of those people in real life, they are not who they portray themselves to be online. And so a lot of people who are online and they're in desperation mode, trying to find that thing that's going to land, it's going to finally stick for them to make some serious money and to build some relationships, they get duped by those, shiny objects and bells and whistles. And it really saddens me that those people don't really care about the people that they're getting involved with. They're just a number. They're a notch on their belt, money in their bank account, and if it doesn't work out next, they don't care. What I really want is to build the relationship with my clients, to build that relationship that I get to choose who I work with, I get to choose who I say no to, but I'm building a relationship that's sustainable and longevity for the rest of my life. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to be, have 10 clients this month and then like, okay, gone, the month's over, now next to the next ones. No, it's what I'm looking to do is build a momentum, a sisterhood, a community of women who are linking arms that are going to be, that foundational bridge that other women can climb across to get to where they want to go. And most people don't look at it that way. Most people look at it like, oh, it's dollar signs. You need to have, if you want to have 5 sales a month, you have to have like 200 leads come in. You have to have, 100 conversations, and you have to have a really good conversion rate to get those sales. Why are we looking at people like sales instead of looking at people for how can I help you? What is it that you genuinely want to achieve in your life? And how can I help you get there?
I agree. And I think that when we see people as numbers, that things change for us. We stop really understanding why we're here. We are here to be of service and add value. And that's why we're all here in this world, to add value to one another in the best way we can, whatever that is. And everybody has a different set of gifts. There aren't people that are the same, even if, there's a lot of people online talking about gut health, so I know that they're not as good as me, A.
Agreed.
Because, and B, they're not, like, they're different. So they're not like, it's not about who's better than who or it's really that people are going to be attracted to them the same way they are attracted to me. So they're no threat to me because I'm confident in my abilities, and people that like my personality and know who I am and feel that comfort in what I offer are going to naturally be attracted to me, and people who identify with her and her story are going to identify with her. And I would certainly don't want someone working with me that doesn't feel that comfort level, because
Absolutely.
it's a hard match. You really do have to have that match. It has to
Yeah,
be
I
someone
agree.
that really knows you, and like, especially in health, they're trusting me with their life. So they kind of have to be able to trust me on other levels, you know.
And what
But go ahead.
I was just saying, what I love too, what sets you apart is that you're not out there pitching a product. You're out there pitching your knowledge. Your entire life, you've worked on your health, and you've been there, done that. You've got the results. And a lot of people just align with a product, and they're like pitching that product to everybody. Oh, you're going to get these great results, but 9 times out of 10, those people haven't even used those products and got the results. And I think that's what people need to stop and realize is that you are speaking from your heart, but you're speaking from experience. So you've actually done the thing and had the results. Where a lot of people are just out there, spinning their wheels and saying, "Oh, I can get you these results," but they've never really even felt them for themselves.
So I do have an awful lot of products.
No, I know
I've
out there
I've
going.
I know
You're
I
not out
don't
there
talk
pitching them.
about them because I people really have to work with me. I give a lot of stuff away out there because
Mhm.
I want to give that value. And I don't think that anybody, I mean, I've had a lot of incidences where people have repurposed my stuff and used it as their own. And that doesn't bother me either, because I know that because they don't have the knowledge base, we're different people, that they're not even using, word for word of what I'm doing. They're not going to be able to create that results because they don't know the pathways like I do. I've worked in the body for 40 years, almost. Um, so it's different. So I'm giving away a product this December. Well, it is kind of giving it away because it's at a very low cost. So, but what I like about working in the body is you could always tell by a series of like assessments what's going on and where the problem started. It's very easy if you know how the body works to know where the problem started and how to correct it. You can really reverse engineer anything that's going on in the body. And a lot of people won't tell you this, but I know that when I say this, people are going to think I'm crazy anyway. So I'm just going to put it out there. Most people have the ability to heal themselves. We all have that gift as human beings, it's part of our makeup. We weren't, just created by him. We were created in his image. We have all those capabilities. A lot of people just don't tap into that part of themselves. So when you work with someone, you do have to get them to that mind's place where they believe they can, because if they don't, they're not. And even if they don't believe what I just said and they think that's all woo woo, if they come to a place where they know that they could achieve whatever they want to, that alone will be enough momentum to make them put in the work, because a lot of people want results, but they don't want to put in the work.
Agreed. And a lot of times people take the products expecting these magical results, but if you haven't got your mindset in the right place to know that those products are going to work and how to use them properly, they're not going to get you the results that they could if your mind isn't in the right place.
Some people aren't ready to. You have to be ready. So if you're for anything, for business, for a relationship, for health, if you're not in a place where you're ready to say, okay, I need the next step, I want to level up in my relationship, maybe, I'm tired of being single, I want to get married, or I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I want something of my own. Or, I want to be in the best shape I could be so that at 75, I'm not pushing a cart, So you have to you have to be in that place
Yeah,
to want that. And then the rest is, it's easy in a sense where it makes it doable. Nothing about working online is easy. You meet a lot of shady characters. I have 20 messages today. There's these people out there that are claiming to be from Facebook,
mm-hmm.
and they want to steal your page, and they said I'm violating political policies, and I said, well, that's clearly not me. I don't even talk about politics, right? So, I blocked him, and then he came back as somebody else, and I said, listen, asshole, if you don't stop harassing me, I'm gonna delete your account, you know.
I love
So
it.
I mean, it's just crazy because there's so many scammers out there and things like that. So, you really do have to use good judgment out here. People, you get scared, oh, someone's going to take my account. Let me click this link, and then your page goes down, everything you're working at. So there's a lot of good and a lot of bad out there, but you have to use caution, and it is hard work. It is hard work. It takes a lot of work.
Anybody
I
who
mean,
tells you that it's not is full of shit.
but I mean, my business isn't exactly where I want it to be.
And mine either. And I think that that's what people don't understand is that anything that's worth having is worth the work. You don't go into a marriage and be like, okay, we're married now, never going to talk to you, and everything's going to be hunky dory. You have to put work into anything that you want, including an online business. And there's people out there saying, oh, it's ease and flow, attraction marketing, and all these things. Clients are just going to fall into your inbox. That's a bunch of horse shit. That doesn't happen. You have to lay the groundwork. You have to show up. You have to be present for people to know who you are, to be able to like you and know you and trust you enough to want to do business with you.
You have to be willing to be in their face and really like beat them over the beat them over the head. I'm talking about sugars all the time. Here's some added sugars. I make fun of Micro Mike and all these other people. I find a fun way because I hope that people can see the irony in what they're doing, because a lot of people like, I don't understand, with a full bag of chips in their pocket, chow in town. I don't understand why I put on this weight. There's a lot of emotional eating going on. We're
Oh yeah.
celebratory people, and let's face it, there haven't always been really good choices out there. So even when people think they're eating really well, if you look at the labels, they're really not. There's so many misconceptions about health. Oh, you don't have to avoid gluten if you're not gluten, you don't have a gluten intolerance. That's so full of horseshit. Gluten by nature is highly processed. So if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating processed foods, the two don't go together. It's the same with soy and so many other things, but people won't tell you that because they want to drag you in to buy their products, right? So I know that even if I give people all the information they need, they're still going to need help on that journey
Exactly. They're going to
because they
need that
don't know
support.
exactly how to do it. And I get that. So, but you have to be willing to help, and you have to show up with service. So what is like the highlight of your day in your business on a day-to-day?
I think the highlight is like when I get messages from women saying, I read your post and it like really landed for me and the light bulb came on. Or I get messages where people are, you can hear in their voice the emotion, the tears, the joy of like when the switch has flipped and they finally get it, where they're like, okay, I can do this. Or when somebody sends you a message and says, you know what, because of you, I can make it through the day. The highlight of my day is having those messages where people that I'm not like, dialed in on those people, and they're people that have been watching my journey or been on my page for a long time. They're not liking your comments, and then all of a sudden it's like something that I posted lands for them that day, and they send me a message and say, I've been following you for 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, and I can't believe it took me this long, but I've finally seen the power that I have within myself because I've seen you leading by example to do it. And that's what makes the highlight for me. It's not that they're buying into my program. It's not anything like, it's that the light came on for them. And that's when the real transformation starts, is when they see it for themselves. And that's what lights me up.
I find that kind of lights me up too. Like people will reach out to me and someone I don't even know, and they're calling me by name. Andra, I really need to work on my weight. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what do I need to do? Well, I have a problem with inflammation and I have SIBO. Like, so I get a lot of those things. But I think what really, really lights me up inside is when I have a lot of people reaching out to work with me. They want to work for me. They say, and so they must think I'm doing fabulous. I'm just so rich. I want to work with her. So, they say that they just love the person that I am and what I'm out here doing. And they'll do my website, they'll do digital marketing, they'll do outbound, they'll do whatever I want to say. So that makes me feel really good. They're not necessarily clients, but I know I'm striking a nerve somewhere that someone's hearing my message. Because sometimes I got to tell you, I was out here for a long time when COVID, and I just felt like I was throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like I was saying things, but was anybody really listening? And then um you know, a few days I would get these messages like, I didn't see your stories today, and I'd be like, who are you? And
Yep.
what do you mean you didn't see my story? So, and so you do know that you're changing lives and you're helping somebody, or that somebody misses you. That
Yep.
that's a really nice feeling.
That's what I love is that you know that there's people out there that every single day when they log into Facebook, they look for your page to see, oh, what has Andra said? Because you are one of those people for me. Like every morning when I go on, I'm like, oh, what's Andra put on today? It's like you look forward to it because you know that the message is going to be crystal clear and it's going to land and it's going to hit me in a way that a lot of other messages don't. And it's like you just look forward to that and you know that the consistency and the value is going to be there. So I think people search for you because they see that and they feel that at the soul level.
So today I was little Martin. So
I
just
saw
so
that.
just I'm the baby in my family, and everybody used to say, you know, um, my sisters were great people. I had two older sisters, and I was always little Martin. Nobody ever called me by my name. It was always, there's little Martin. There's little Martin. See what she's up to. So, for a long time, I didn't want to be the baby. I didn't want to be somebody's sister, somebody's daughter. I just wanted to be seen for me. And today I was thinking about my sister. She's been gone for a little while, and what I wouldn't give to be little Martin again,
Right.
and spending that day with her. And it was more about reclaiming where I came from, I guess, because I'm out there trying to help women, and we're in all these groups with women supporting women, and the women in my life were so encouraging and so supporting, you know, and I felt like I wanted to actually take that last name today and be Martin just for a day. My husband's like, who's little Martin? I was like, I said, it's me, honey. He said, oh, really? I said, it's been a while. But, it was nice to go back and just be her for a day and just realize where you came from, you know?
That's the one thing that I love too. When I was a kid growing up, I was like, the only girl. I have three brothers, and everybody's like, oh, the little Conley girl. And I was like, I was so bad, wanted to get away from that. And I ran from that, ran from that, ran from that. And now it's like, I want to reclaim that because I was a very powerful little girl, and I've forgotten that along the way. And so that's my whole goal for women to reclaim that inner thing that's inside of them. That's what's most important.
It's so weird because when you're a child, all you want to do is grow up. You want to be able to go sit in the bars. You want to go drive your first car. You want to do all those things. But as you get older, all you want to do is be that little girl,
Exactly.
because that's really where the growth was. As a child, we're not afraid to do anything. We don't live in fear.
Nope.
And I was talking about this the other day. There's no ego in health. There's no ego in future. You know, when you're in that place of ego, when you're worrying about how you look and how you feel and what other people think, you're not aligned with who you're meant to be, you know, because there's no such thing as ego. Ego is something that we
We
created
create.
to
Yep.
make ourselves feel good. There's no real such thing. It's just, and that's the part of us that says, uh-oh, danger, I'm here to protect you,
Yeah.
don't go talk to that person, oh no, stay over here by yourself, you know. So it creates all these falsehoods in your minds, and we spend our lives running away from things we're meant to run towards,
Yeah. Totally.
like that opportunity, like that business, like those cool people over there, not the ones that think they're cool over there, you know.
Exactly.
So, but I don't want to get too far off track. I did want to just pop in and talk to these people about business, because I think, like you said, there's so many people out there just starting out. Somebody would have told me 3 years ago that I'd be on Facebook talking to people live. I'd be like, no way. So you have to be willing to put yourself out there, and
Yeah.
it's really not about how you look or what other people think. If you have something inside of you that you think that you can share with the world, something that you can share with your family and that's going to better you and your life, then you should absolutely go out there and do it. Just make sure it aligns with who you are at your core. Maybe you always wanted to be an accountant and you're great at numbers, go do it. There's nothing standing in your way but you, right? You are the limit.
Exactly. I got nothing. I got nothing for that.
I thought that was funny. So this time next year, I will be a 3-time international best-selling author. Mark my words.
I love it. And
I'm
this time
I
next year, I will have created Queen by Design Collective, and I will have linked arms with 140 women who are changing their lives and leaving a legacy for their families and their children.
I love it. I might be one of those women linking arms at you. I might just. No one says that all I can do is help.
Exactly.
I like what you're doing. I'm very familiar with what you're doing, and I like what you're doing, and I think it is changing a lot of lives for a lot of people. So keep being you. So guys, that's our thoughts for today. Please excuse my appearance. I don't get dressed up to hang out at home and just be me. Um,
It's me and Andra hanging out.
you know, so I want to thank you guys for showing up and listening to me and CJC Boyd. And if you something you want to do with yourself or your life, don't be afraid. Get out there and do it. You know, if we could do it, you can do it. Absolutely. Anything is possible for anybody else. Get out of that head and back into your heart. What do you
Absolutely.
think?
Absolutely. It's all heartfelt. Go back to the core of your being. The beating of your heart is what leads everything.
We're going to leave it on that note. Have a great day, guys, and thanks for tuning in.